New PlayStations, new Xboxes, now new
Yep.
PlayStations. Crazily enough, not long after Apple's event ended, Sony fired up their events. Like the Xbox One, the PlayStation Slim is the same hardware in a smaller, cheaper package. The One S added HDR, 4K Blu-ray, 4K streaming video, up to 2 terabyte hard drives. In this case, the Slim is slimmer. I mean, I hate to sound silly when I say that, but it's pretty cool actually. If you are looking to replace your PlayStation, or if you've been on the fence with the PlayStation 4, um, you know the other thing that they not only is it smaller, but apparently more energy efficient. 30% smaller. Power consumption is down 28%. So
Right.
obviously, this is one of those classic mid-console lifestyle, parts count reduction, shrinkification kind of thing.
Yep.
But the big deal is probably the PlayStation 4 Pro,
hmm
um,
Yeah.
which is getting the 4K gaming on. They claim they've doubled the GPU performance. And I was thinking of you when I was reading this yesterday. Because all I could think was, okay, Sony's quote, games that already look extraordinary on PS4 will look richer and more detailed thanks to more powerful GPU and a faster CPU at the heart of PlayStation 4. And all I could think is, like, I'm stoked about 4K and high dynamic range. But I
Yeah.
can't believe they actually, I couldn't believe that the processor inside the PlayStation, like just doubling it, didn't seem like it would be enough to do decent 4K gaming.
No. No, it's absolutely not, right? So I think the GPU performance is like 2.3x on this. The CPU performance is
Right.
essentially the same. This will be out in November, I think, so relatively
Yes.
soon.
Yeah, the
Um,
Slim comes out September 15th. It's 299.
okay,
Yeah, and the Pro is going to beat Project Scorpio out by probably
by a lot.
6 months.
Yeah,
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 it's
yeah.
$399 on November 10th, just in time for Black
Yeah.
Friday. Um,
Now, what's interesting is that it's 4.2 teraflops or so,
mhm,
which is essentially identical to like the Polaris 11 GPU. That's, I think, the RX 460 is the model branding for that. And it's kind of what AMD has stated before as like one of the key inflection points for GPU performance. So
right.
it's not a coincidence that Sony's releasing it at that. And you're right, 4K gaming at that performance is not. You'll be able to do native 4K gaming with some simplistic gaming and animation and
Right.
graphics, but you're not going to do, Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, or GTA 5 level graphics at 4K. I mean, hell, we struggle to do that on the PC with GTX 1080s still today. So what you're going to see, instead is rendering at 1080p and upscaling it to 4K to output to your display, which is fine. I mean, and you already see some of the consoles do that, right? Rendering at slightly lower than 1080p on the PS4 and Xbox One today, and upscaling it to 1080p. And when you're doing 1080p to 4K, it's simple multiplication
Right.
of four there, so it's pretty easy to do. But it will do like the 4K video streaming, so Netflix and that type of stuff. One interesting thing, and I did just look this up to be sure, this does not have a 4K Blu-ray player built into it.
Really? The Pro does not.
The Pro does not, but the
Wow.
Xbox One S that came out
Does.
like a month ago does. And so you assume Scorpio will have one, obviously, as well. And the Xbox One S sells for $299 today for the 2 terabyte model, and this will be $399 when it launches in November. It's really surprising to me that Sony would not include a 4K Blu-ray player in its own device. Remember back when PlayStation 3
Yeah.
launched, it was like the Blu-ray player to have, right? And it helped push
Yeah.
the standard onto the market, helped sell PlayStations, helped sell higher HD TVs and all type of stuff. So I'm really
Maybe they
shocked that that would be the case.
maybe they're trying to push everybody to their 4K streaming service.
God, I hope not.
I hope not
Maybe,
either.
but
Um,
it's an odd omission, and it will be interesting to see how this affects the PSVR, which comes out in October. I think October 13th. So we're just over a month away from when the PSVR launches, and that works with the previous PlayStation 4 and with the PS4
mhm.
Pro. So like what the differences will be there. I think they claim either better resolution or better frame rates, depending on what I guess the need of the developer is. at that particular time. So I'm very curious to pick one of these up and see kind of what the differences are, and if a 2x performance delta is enough for general consumers to notice a difference,
Yeah.
right? That to me is very interesting. The Scorpio is going to be a significant jump over the Xbox One S, like, another multiple over what this the PS4 Pro is. So
I mean,
you're
that was one of the
likely
interesting
going to see a
things.
difference.
I mean, Sony went into great pains to be like, there's not going to be any exclusive 4K content. Everything's going to work on everything, which on one hand is good, but on the other hand, are they really, is it 3.5K, 3K ish?
Right.
Like, is that a
Yeah.
rude thing to say?
No. There's a whole lot of questions that go with this. And again, we've never seen this cadence of product releases on the console side. So usually when we talk about like console to console compatibility, it's like backwards compatibility. Well, this old game work on my new system.
Right.
Not the idea of these are all the same platform, which is what Sony is pushing with the PS4 and what Xbox will be pushing with Scorpio device too. So interesting to see, but I'm glad. Like the more improvements we see in the console space in terms of hardware, I think the faster you'll see things change software wise in the PC side. So I'm all for it, just as long as they can keep selling them, I guess.
He's all for it, people. You heard it here first.